Yo, what's up? How y'all been? It's been a minute. This is my, reconnection to Build a Bard and getting things going. I'm actually going to go through my entire system, each individual step, all the stuff that I'm currently doing. And that starts with the meta, the to-do list. And I use Trello for that. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to go into some of the steps that I do for my Trello, but some of that's going to be in a future video too. There's a whole bunch of stuff. If you're new here, I run a channel called Joshua David Ling Poetic Storyteller. This is the Build a Bard channel. Everything that I said in my previous video about switching rooms, yeah, it's not happening. But there's a lot of cool stuff that is. And so I wanted to come on here and share that with you. And this is the way we're going to be doing it. Going forward, more just recordings like this, simple stuff. And right now we're going to my Trello board. This is my main to-do list Trello board. And I'm going to be explaining how that works. And we're going to be moving through my process. So as you can see, it's very colorful, as is most of my office. The background is pretty cool. It is a picture that Ian Wilson did for me of Bism from the Silver Chair that keeps me kind of in my mode of creation. We have 4 dragons here, and right now we're going to be doing a process called reforming the green list and rebuilding everything, basically checking the calendar. This is something that I do every night before or thereabouts. Sometimes it's late afternoon. Sometimes it's the morning of, where I put everything in order for my day. So starting off, what we have, let me explain the dragons. We have the blue dragon, which I'm going to come back to because he's weird. The green dragon, which is my main to-do list for the day. The yellow dragon, which is where I put stuff that I've finished, especially things that are recurring. The note dragon right over here, which is Trogdor the Burninator, as you can see from Homestar Runner. And this is where I put sort of just general notes or things that don't need to move very much. And then I have the red dragon, which is stuff that I'm not ready to archive yet, but stuff that is on the back burner completely or for another day, basically. So let's go through my day, and I'll try to explain stuff as I go. The blue dragon is sort of like a green list that is for special purposes, or if I have to split my day in 2 for some reason, I can have my green dragon for the first part of the day and my blue dragon for the second part of the day. These are these big columns. They call them lists. You can add as many lists as you want in Trello and name them. I just like having these topmost dragons because they help me stay focused on what's what, instead of just having, individual words at the top of these Trello boards. Just helps me, stay focused and visual and everything else. So the first thing that never moves at the top of my green list is reading, praying. FBS and PMT are old. I don't know. I don't even remember what those stood for. I just haven't changed it. But basically my reading and devotional process is the same. And it is something that I do at least once a day, sometimes more. And I'm going to go into that process more when I get to it, but it's basically a devotional period with songs and scripture. So we'll just say that for now. Now, going down this list, we have our SIG tries, our SIGs, and our tries. That's short for significant trifles, significance, and trifles. I'm going to get into a lot more in the future, possibly in this video. We'll see how it goes as I'm explaining it, but essentially it's what it sounds like. Significance are things that are really important, that possibly, especially regular significance, they take a little bit more time. Trifles are little things that I can get done like that, and significant trifles are both. They're very significant in that they're important to do, but they're very, very quick. Now, why is reading above all of those and not underneath and inside of all of those? reading and praying and listening to my songs and singing my songs is the most important thing that's always at the top to remind me to consistently pray and focus on Christ throughout my day. And helping me to remember that is the warrior that I want to be, this crusader here, and we'll go build off of that. So usually when I'm rebuilding, the first thing I look at is my yellow list, because it has all the stuff that I do on a daily basis already in it, and possibly some things that I need to archive. So I'm going to clean out my yellow dragon list. We'll start with read a book. That is a, as you can, you can see here, these are my labels. Trello lets you use labels of different colors, and you can see this one's recurring and trifles. I'll show you my labels here, and you can select as many labels as you want for each card. These are called cards, by the way, if I refer to them and you're not sure what I'm talking about. So anyway, we're going to be moving read a book. I'll leave these expanded. I don't usually have them expanded like this, just too many words. But we'll go ahead and move read a book. That's always usually at the bottom of my tries list, with the reforming my green list at the very bottom. It only has the Build-A-Bard logo on it this time to remind me to do this on Build-A-Bard. So that's why that's there. But we'll put read a book at the bottom. Reading's very important. It keeps me inspired. It's something that I do listening. I do count some podcasts, not all of them. And I count other sorts of entertainment like movies and things. It's narrative art, really, is what I'm trying to incorporate. And it's always something toward the end. It's something to look forward to, trying to make it something that I'm relaxed doing. And if I don't do it, it's not usually that big a deal unless I go for long periods without doing it. The Starry Hearth Homestead, I'm going to be having a lot more on this, but I am creating a campaign to create a bed and breakfast retreat and a home for my family. And so this is something that's a recurring task, a significant legendarium work, which is, this should be Lyricanium. I may change that. In fact, let's do that real quick. We're going to go ahead and change the title for that label just for the sake of this. We'll go in here to labels. We're going to edit, and we're going to change this to Lyricanium. Lyricanium work means essentially that this is work for me. This is stuff that is long-term building for my stories, and maybe not something I'm earning money on directly, but indirectly I will. And so we're going to move this one, recurring task, significant Lyricanium work, brainstorm, and we're going to move this to significant because it is a significant and there's no trifle marker. So there we go. We'll move it to right underneath SIGs, that's significance. Next is room reset inventory. This is something that I've been meaning to Build-A-Bard, as you can see, but I'm almost done with it, and it's just been inventorying my room. I have only a couple more spaces left to go. I already did the undershelf, so basically the walls and the floor. So this will be done soon, and I'm working on selling things on eBay. That's going to be another task that you'll see. But this is significant. It is a one-time task that I'm going to be completing hopefully next week. And this is going to go in significance. I'm going to put it on, oh wait, no, this is a significant trifle. Even though it doesn't say trifle on there, it's become a trifle. So let's fix that label. Add trifles. There you go. Now it's a significant trifle, right? And it's in that sig tries category. I'll explain why I have these categories here in just a little bit. Significant trifle. Next one is eBay. I'm adding 1 to 3 items to eBay every day from my list of things to sell. I have a huge stack of CDs over there that I'm selling from my dad's collection as part of my inheritance. So anyway, recurring task, Lyricanium work, brainstorm. This is going to go in signatures, even though I really need to get my stuff together properly. So this right here is wiki blog posts. I'm working on building out the posts on my webpage to have sort of wiki-ish articles containing things like characters and locations and, you know, all the research fun, you know, behind the scenes lore, world building kind of stuff. And so I've just begun that. and it's something that I'm working on regularly. I'm still getting some of the infrastructure together for that, but let's go ahead and put that here underneath Starry Hearth Homestead in the SIGs category. Then we're going to go build Launchbox. This is a project that I'm currently working on for the family. I'm using Launchbox, which you can check that out at launchbox.com, I think, but it is a launcher for games usually, but I'm actually using it also for TV shows and movies. And there's a free version and a paid version. I don't have the paid version yet. It's a one-time thing. I'm going to eventually get it. But it's a real cool piece of software and has been really good for my daughter and my wife to be able to launch the shows and games that they want to without having to go through all the stuff on the computer. Next, I'm working with working through a communicants book with my daughter, Hazel, and that's super important, but it's in the tries category right now because it's very, very quick. It should probably be in the SIG tries category now that I think of it. Yeah, we're going to move it up to the SIG tries category. I'm surprised I didn't think of that before, but it's just been there. I'll get a picture there in a few minutes. You know what? Let's find a communicants picture. This is how I find my pictures. Communicants class. We'll just get a picture of like a Pascal communicants class or something. I don't know. It's not usually the way things go, except, okay, yeah, I'm sure. It's little kids. Well, sure, that they're Asian, whatever. I'm not, but that's perfectly fine. We'll just, I'm going to do a screenshot here and drag this in to my list, and we'll put that there. It uploads straight to it, and it's good to go. So that will remind me to do Communicants book with Hazel. Next is Engrave. Now, Engrave is, I named some of my tasks that encompass a lot of things. Things like engrave, animate, illuminate, archive, etc. Engrave is my writing process. This is actually writing my poems. I work on something specific, and some days I only write a little bit. Some days I write a lot. It just depends. Lately, it's been a lot less because I have so much else to do in other categories. But for now, we'll go ahead and move that to SIGs, and we're going to put that, let's see, SIGs, we're going to put that below Starry Hearth Homestead, because that's specifically directly money-making venture, and yeah, we'll put Engrave right about there. Next is Animate. That is exactly what it sounds like, but it is more Ken Burns stuff. It's tied to Illuminate. So let's put Illuminate down first. That is my AI art. I create one sequential still art piece every day, and I put it into my ongoing animation projects. I just finished chapter 2 of The Rhyming Little Mermaid, and that was called Witnessing Manfolk, and that will be out soon. This one will go, let's put that above. Yeah, let's above Engrave, below Starry Hearth Homestead. And we always put Animate right below it because they kind of go hand in hand. I illuminate and then I animate. So next we will look at Archive. Archive is a significant trifle. It is actually an ongoing project I have to specifically add my stories into the Lyricanium proper. Let me go through this a little bit. I actually, I worked through an episode of one of these series. These are abbreviations. I roll dice between 1 and 20, and you can see I get pick or reroll on these. I'll go into dice a lot more on another episode. Hello, Thunder. I don't know if you guys heard that, but there is thunder right now. So if I have to cut out and cut back, you know why. Okay, so I saved to an individual .txt file, an episode TXT, a season TXT, and I also save it to an RTF file with the font Medieval Sharp, which is kind of my signature font. I print that, and I have a book, an actual physical Lyricanium over here. It's not full yet, but when it is, I'll get extra volumes and design them differently. It'll be fun. But I want to have my stuff in physical form for archival purposes, not necessarily publishing purposes yet. We're working on that. Then we post to joshuadavidling.com, to all my socials, as you can see here, and to Wattpad. I know. Wattpad's not great, but it is a good place to just be in the public spotlight in some small way. So if someone has a better site that I can go to for that, I will gladly do so. But for now, it's my website and Wattpad, and then posting a link to my website on all these socials. And that is the process of archiving. And the reason I'm doing it that way is I'm pulling them from Trello. I have a bunch of Trello boards with all my poems, but I want them to be more accessible through the Lyricanium, which you can go to joshuadavidling.com/LL. $10 a month, you can see all my files, everything that I do, that I work out of regularly. Not my entire computer, obviously, but like all the Lyricanium files, from animation to text, etc., etc. It's part of what I do for you guys. So we'll go ahead and move from that. I'm going to talk more about archival another time. Exhilarate. This one is tied in with Invigorate. Invigorate is my recording process. Exhilarate is my audio editing process, okay? So audio editing for the audio versions, obviously, and the audio version for the animation. So that's where that goes. We're going to put it in SIGs. We're going to put it up. We'll put it above Illuminate right now. That's a little easier than Illumination. JDL Shorties. This is my regular ongoing, and you can see a little bit here. I'm going to go more in depth, but basically I have a scheduled system for all of my vertical shorts, and that's what that is. I do try to do one of those a day except for Sundays. We're going to put that in the SIG tries because those are pretty easy to accomplish. I'm trying to make them more and more easy to accomplish. So that's forward facing. That actually gets something on the internet, whereas the archive is just Lyricanium. So I'm going to put that above, even though, I mean, it's all important, but eBay should be above that. Okay. So archive, yeah, eBay, we got to make some money. So let me put eBay above the shorties, then the archive, then the communicants book. Super important, but it's just one of those things that I'm usually up early, especially on Mondays, and Hazel's not going to be up yet. So we're going to get to this right about the right time. And then, okay. So Project Tom Thumb. This is a very basic one that I've got going on. I have a thumb drive that hooks onto my, what's it called? My key ring. And I'm working on putting Lord of the Rings and the Bible and many other fun text files and things on there for the purposes of always having it on hand. And so that's Project Tom Thumb. It's not a big deal. It's a trifle. It goes toward the bottom. Next, this is a task that I'm doing for a client. Right now, it is not something that I'm going to be working on tomorrow or on Monday, so I am going to be moving it to my Red Dragon list. So we'll put that over here because I'm not working on it until next time I'm on the clock for her. Purchase maintenance. This is something that I have another ongoing Trello board that I keep up for purchases for the family and for my business. And it's just something that I have to keep track of. So I just check up on it every now and then. We'll put that below Tom Thumb. That's a simple trifle. Next is digital products. You can see I put images more with the significance than the trifles. So we're going to move digital products. This is me working on the brainstorming, the infrastructure for digital products and selling them. We're going to put that pretty high up in the SIGs category. I think Starry Hearth needs to go first. We're going to put digital products below that. business plan. This is my current, and yes, that is an animated GIF. You can put animated GIFs in here too. I only have one because I want this one to be exciting. This is a lot of meta stuff that I'm going through for the entirety of my business. And I'm definitely going to be going into a depth big time in another video. For now, it goes to the top of the SIG category. Ultimate Unabridged Fantasy Books. I am currently, and I think I'll pull over here for this, working on, ooh, look, a little bit of a preview of Witnessing Manfolk. I'm going to go to Ultimate Unabridged. This is strictly for my family. Although, who knows? I might put it in the Lyricanium at some point. Shh. Don't tell anyone. This is a project that I am going through the audiobooks for, these are the fan-made audiobooks for The Lord of the Rings, starting with The Hobbit, actually. And I am putting clips and video and some fan art and things from the movies, and like I said, fan art and things, and essentially animating the audiobook and making sure, even though it doesn't show it right now, that the words are on screen. So this is like a visual version of the unabridged book. Yeah, it's for my kids and to be able to experience these stories together really well. I have Blue Fax's amazing version of The Hobbit. This is just chapter 1, An Unexpected Party. It's going to take me a long time to get through it. This is Clamavi de Profundis' version of Far Over the Misty Mountains that I've mixed into where the dwarves sing. So it's going to be epic. But yeah, just for my family right now. But I could be persuaded. Just talk to me. We'll see. We won't break any copyright rules. So, any which way. Let's see. We're going to move that to the trifles. This is usually a pretty low thing, like I said. We're going to put that above Tom Thumb, below Launchbox. Make social friends. This is Lyricanium work. It should be a significant trifle. This is just making friends on the platforms that allow you to request friend connections, that kind of a thing. And so I do that a little bit every day. I actually just get one person every day, and it builds a lot faster than you think it would. And part of that is because they don't throttle you when you do like ask a million people, and they throttle your notifications to those people. But anyway, we're going to put that significant trifles. So we're getting a lot of those this time. Let's see. Let's put that below Hazel, above inventory. Genealogy sheet, we're going to put that down. I'm working on building out my family's genealogy sheet. That's just a small thing I do every day. I usually keep it toward the top of my tries list because it is so fast to do. I'm literally adding one relative and just going through the map every day. It's nice. I've got like 1,500 entries. Sometimes I get carried away and do more. And then long hymnal maintenance. Now, the long hymnal is, and if you want to copy this URL, it's an unlisted thing. You can do that on your own time. But in my, let me see here, playlists, let's go to playlists. Doesn't show playlists anymore. Odd. Okay, well, content maybe? No. Playlist, there we are. There you are, long hymnal. We'll go to that. And yeah, you can copy this URL here if you want. Basically, I've been creating for a while my own sort of YouTube hymnal. It is unlisted. It has a ton of songs in here. Let's see how many we have. We're close to 8. I think we're over 850 right now. I know it only loads to 200, but any which way. But this is just me picking songs and adding, and I like using the random function on it for devotionals and that sort of a thing. Lots of psalms, lots of great stuff. Anyway, the long hymnal maintenance is just adding another song. That's all it is. So, and then this guy is the first thing that I do every day. I dress and I wind jog. That's like wind sprint, but jogging. I'm up to 12 and a half minutes tomorrow. Yeah, 12 and a half minutes. And I'm upping it by 30 seconds every day. And I then shower if I need to and get my tea or coffee or vitamins. I will go into detail on my vitamin regimen and all the other fitness stuff I'm doing probably in the next video, because that's the first thing I do on my list. So that happens first, and then I immediately go into my prayer and devotional time. It really helps get things moving right away. Now comes the fun part. I kind of look through my notes. If there's anything in the blue, I'll move it around, and I look at the red and try and figure out what's next. So I've already done Build-A-Bar note stuff. We'll come back to that at some point, and I will create an editing function for Build-A-Bar that I will add over here. Sign work with Bob. I am going to be doing sign work with Bob, which you don't need to know about. I have this other function down at the very bottom for appointments at specific times. Sign work with Bob at 3 p.m. So I'm going to be doing that at 3 p.m. Sometimes I add labels to these. Sometimes I don't, since they're one-time little things. We'll just say one-time task. That's fine. And then Project Rendon doesn't need to go over. My memes archive doesn't need to be moved over. My topics for Poets Or doesn't need to be moved over. I have a repeat of work on sign. I don't think there's anything in there of, I'll keep it in there just in case, just leave it in the list. Looking over here, we do not need to edit yet because we haven't recorded. I'm just going to run through these real quick, not specifically talk about all of them. I do need to do church media editing because that will be after Sunday. That is important, and that goes to the top almost of SIGs. I'm going to put this below Starry Hearth Homestead, above digital products. Yeah, we'll make that happen. And then we're going to be doing cleaning the house. This is something I do every Monday. My wife leaves and I clean the house. It's sort of a weekly reset. She does a lot of taking care of the kids and keeping the house the rest of the week. This is sort of the jubilee of the week where I clean it all. So that's going to go above Business Cat, because usually on Mondays I'm trying to get that done first so I can get to the other stuff. Not doing General's Report this week. Not doing Broodcast this week. Creative team meeting, that will be coming up soon, but that's not July 20th. Okay, that is during next week, but that's not. Okay, so anything that's coming up next week but not quite there yet, I usually move to my notes section. So that's coming up. I'm going to move that over. Where did it go? Creative team. There you are. Silly. Okay, take promo pics for Joshua the Bard. I'm going to archive this because I'm not doing it right now. I can always search for it again and find it. Brendan's working on BroodQuest, so I can archive that. Brainstorming new stuff. I had some things written. I can archive that. Brainstorm and or create BAB content. I'm working on that right now. Edit and post Poets at War. I already have a card for that. Record session for. We're gonna archive that. Commercial ideas. I'm gonna keep that in red for right now. That's not something going on until the fall. Create account for squad. Okay, yeah, I'm going to keep that in the red category, that in the red category. Finalize song. Yeah, we're going to archive that because I already have 2 of those. I'm going to archive that one. I'm going to archive that one. Website updates. I'm going to keep that in the red because I think I have some information in there that I need to refer back to. This is something I do quarterly. That's coming up soon, but I don't know exactly when. Trello board prompts for Ian. That is something I need to keep in red. Complement editing, something I need to keep in red. Keep in red. Shower is something that, I occasionally sometimes schedule house showers. Sometimes I just take them. Doesn't really matter either way. Poets at War guest lists. I need to keep that. Let's put that over here because I need to talk about getting some guests back on now that we have sort of an ongoing schedule again. Emrys editing, I'm waiting on Ian for that. Church website, that's something I'm going to come back to. And creative team budget, I'm going to archive that. So that's everything in the red list. We have a wonderful for Monday list together, and this is more what it normally looks like. It's a little bit easier to work with, a little bit less information. But yeah, basically, I've explained how I create my list. Next time, I'm going to probably talk about my dice and how this factors in to my process, because that's kind of the next thing. Although maybe not. No, really, the next thing is going to be the fitness. So I'm going to come back to that next week-ish. These videos are going to come out when they're going to come out. I'm going to post them on Wednesdays. If I don't post them, if you have a Wednesday without one, I didn't get to it that week. This is back burner stuff, and it's got to stay that way. So thank you all very much for watching. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm going to be responding to these, and I want this to be something that inspires people to work harder and to work smarter and to work more fun. And we'll talk to you next time. Be your family's bard. Do not turn to the right or to the left, and the Lord will be with you wherever you go. We'll see you next time in the trenches on Build a Bard? That doesn't work. I got to figure that out. Maybe I can change up that last bit. Anyway, I'll see y'all.